Alright, so this is Boxing Fit Talk. Starting to get into it, you know what I'm saying? I see Jake Paul bringing in Usada. So is this going to be VADA versus Usada? And what the fighters want? And who are they going to want to use? And shit like that? Is that what's going on? I think my camera's a little crooked. What's up, Florina? What's up, Florina? Right? So, I'm saying to myself, is this the new drama that's going to happen in boxing? Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? See what I got here for you. So, I'm thinking, how are you going to get this done? When fighters don't know who to choose and who they want to be with. Can it be a mutual understanding? I don't know. Might have to find out. So, a little bit here, a little bit there. So, in my mind, I'm like, man, I don't trust Usada. I don't trust Usada, and I have my reasons why. And people that know my channel, I show a lot of proof about Usada and how it could be bought. Now, you could say that you don't trust VADA because of Victor Conte. You could, how can I say this, man? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the WBC have the clean boxing program. They've been using VADA. The WBA, well, they could use the Vegas, California, New York Commission. Just like Maurice Suleiman said, there's always post-fight testing. You see what I'm saying? It's always post-fight testing. Now, Usada was different in the past. I don't know what they updated, so I don't want to be biased. I don't know what they updated this 2025. I know VADA was always a couple of steps ahead of them with the isotope tests, when they could test your testosterone, if I said it right. Get your testosterone up, right? For synthetic testosterone. So, and there's other things that, you know, VADA tests for: peptides, SARMs, HGH, a full panel of certain things, right? Where the New York or the California Athletic Commission, Nevada, they only test for so much compounds. And so does Usada. And I know people will say, well, Usada was with the Olympics. Yeah, I know that. But, you know, Usada is no better than VADA. VADA is voluntary. Usada is a private organization. Even though it sounds like, because it sounds like United States anti-doping, it sounds like United States is governed. It's not governed, it's private. AI overview: the United States Anti-Doping Agency is a private, non-profit organization, not a government agency. Although it's not a government body, it has close relationships with the U.S. government and receives some, let's listen to the keywords, some federal funding. Details on Usada: structure and funding, independent and private. Usada is governed by an independent board of directors. Let's hear it again. Board of directors, and is not a branch of the federal government. What's the key word here? Not a branch of the federal government. This separation is intended to protect the independence and keep it free from government interference. Let's hear the key word: government interference. Government funding. Despite its private status, USADA is partially, what's the key word? Partially funded by Congress with appropriations routed through the White House office and National Drug Control Panel. Other funding. Okay, well, let's move on to other funding. The rest of USADA budget, keyword budget, comes from what? Keyword for slow people, contracts with the various sports organizations, mostly notable the U.S. Olympics, like we know, and the Paralympic Committee. Official recognition. Congress officially recognized USADA as the official anti-doping agency for Olympic, Pan American, and blah blah blah. So in the United States in 2001, not in 2025. Okay, legal standing courts have consistently ruled that USADA is not a government entity, which means its actions are not subject to the same constitutional requirements as government agencies. So it's private, right? And despite its private status, it's partially funded, right? And USADA, the rest of USADA budget comes from what? Contracts with various sports, keyword, organizations. Okay? Funding, okay, is only partial from the government. The other budget, the rest of the USADA budget, comes from contracts. Okay. This is how you reading comprehension and taking out the key words so you can't be biased. You have facts. Okay? Jesus. And I'll prove it to you right here. Okay, so you see right there, right? All right, bet. So you got to think. Think. Because this is all we got now. Well, if you don't like the skin in the game now, and you need more skin, well then, hey, we're going to get more skin in the game. And do I have a problem with that? No. I don't have a problem with that. But I have proof. That's the thing. I have proof. And we know the proof is Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather and how things didn't work out. Now, I'm not going to put all that in this video right now. But I see Jake Paul. He decided he wanted USADA. Okay. And Tank, I don't know, you know, quiet as a kept with the WBA. I don't know their protocols. And I don't know who they use. I think they just use the state commission. They use the state commission. So, post, and I guess it depends on the promoter, right? What they want to test, pre-test, how many times. But as quiet as kept, we always talking about VADA. And, you know, Victor Conte, as much as this going on, and I feel like this is my belief that he has nothing to do with VADA. But he also dealt with USADA or anybody else to show proof of how people could cheat tests and blah 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 and stuff like that. And to me, it's just a lot of talk. I mean, if I know how to beat a test, you just have to come to me and I can tell you how to beat a test. I make money off of showing you how to beat a test. So this sport could get better. But I don't want to be biased and say I'm for him and I'm rooting and tooting for him. Because I understand it. Where people feel like once you're this way, you're always that way. And I always tell my brothers, man, that come out of prison, they always want a second chance in life. And life do that to you and you feel that way. And you feel this way to Victor Conte. Well, hey, man, don't bitch and moan about it. If you're someone that just came out of prison, you're trying to change your way of thinking, and you want a second chance to life, and the life world doesn't want to hear that. So if the world is doing it to you, hey, you could do it to Victor Conte. It is what it is. Like I said, ain't nothing new exists under the sun. Once you're guilty, you're always guilty. That's the way it is. Right? So, this shit is crazy, man. We got Usada, we got VADA versus Usada. Yeah. You got VADA versus Usada. But the way I see it, we could do this mutually. Because you could use both. That's the way I see it. We could use both. Your opponent, my opponent, different opponents. We could use, I mean, that's the way I see it, man. I could get my attorney. I could get my testing to prove it. We could get your testing to prove it, but we got to make sure that both is in the same standard. Both test for the same things. And we got to make sure the promoters is on board, or whoever's promoting this, that we want a certain amount of pre-testing. That's it. We want a certain amount of pre-testing. And if we could come up to that agreement with those numbers, I don't see no problem where we could use both. But if it's a conflict where the boxers say, listen, man, I want your testosterone levels checked. I want your isotope. I want the isotope test. And you saw it, and Usada don't have that. Which back then, when they was with our Mayweather and Berto and Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather, I don't believe it. I can remember they wasn't using the isotope test for testosterone. And I know back then, Vegas gave you a certain ratio amount of levels of testosterone, right? I got a lot of stuff, a lot of information on this. But right now, when I heard Jake Paul wants Usada, it just made me think, is this going to be a problem? Is this going to be a problem? Because if I'm Crawford, and I said, listen, this is what I want you to get tested for. I want you to get tested for peptides. I want you to get tested for your testosterone levels. And Usada says, well, we don't test for that. Who's the one that's got the domination in this race? Who's dominant in this race, man? I mean, to me, I don't know the rules and laws of boxing. And if there's a contract where it's a mutual agreement where we could both use Usada and VADA, cool. But if it's a conflict of interest, the fighters, and they don't want to use this and they don't want to use that because they believe that there's an affiliation with Victor Conte and that means VADA is something going under the table with VADA. Well, I could say the same for Usada. See, you have to volunteer. A lot of fighters had volunteer, regardless if they would snack or not. Regardless if they use snack products. Yeah. So a lot of other fighters out there that uses VADA. Okay? So I don't know the modern day-to-day of Usada and what they test for now. And I'm not going to be biased and say what they used to not test for is what they now not testing for. No, because I have to do my research on Usada. Things change. I was just looking at that shot that Manny Pacquiao was supposed to get in that fight with Mayweather. It was I forgot the name of it, a shot. And it wasn't banned at the time when that fight happened. But you know when they banned it? No, if this is the compound that Manny Pacquiao asked the commission to take at the time where he had pain in his shoulder, okay? But the commission and Usada said no, he couldn't use it. But it wasn't banned by VADA. And it wasn't banned from Usada. And it wasn't banned from WADA. So yes, tramadol was used by some athletes as a painkiller, especially in endurance sports like cycling, but is now banned by the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, since what? January 1st, 2024, not around Mayweather fight. 2024, that was last year, due to its potential for performance-enhancing health risks and abuse, right? Because we all know that sometimes painkillers could be abused, right? Data from WADA's monitoring program show prevailing use before the ban, with athletes using it to reduce pain and work harder, potentially gaining a performance advantage. Why tramadol was used? Pain relief. Athletes took tramadol for moderate to severe pain from sports injuries and intense training. Performance enhancement. Some athletes reported that it helped them power through competition and train better, feeling an immediate boost. Okay? Why tramadol is now banned? Well, it's now banned in 2024. We mean 2025. Studies include one on highly trained cyclists showing that tramadol significantly improved performance by allowing athletes to maintain higher power output. Health risk. The drug carries risk of physical dependency. Okay, so abusing it is dependency, opioid addiction, and overdose. WADA included tramadol on its 2024 prohibited list because it met the criteria for potential performance enhancement, actually potential health risk, and violation of the spirit of the sport. All right. So now remember the IV gate. Okay. So he just asked for a shot for his shoulder because of the pain. Now, it was not banned at that time. All right. Some use it to abuse it, right? Some use it and overdose and depend on it. So every individual is different. But for that moment in time, Manny Pacquiao did ask for it for that moment. It wasn't in his system at all when they did the drug testing. Okay. But he did need it for his shoulder injury at that time. Not using excuses, but I'm not even sure if this is the shot. If anybody out there can comment, someone that's professional, Michael Montero, he's good with this. He's a boxer, also a channel. He did a video about this, but I couldn't get the name properly. He did say the name, but I was trying to figure it out myself. But I think it was this compound that I think Manny Pacquiao was asking for. If I'm wrong, I am wrong. I am not, right on everything. So I'm just, when they sounded out, it sounded like this compound. So maybe I'm wrong, okay? But like I said, it wasn't on the list back then, but now it's on the list January 1st, 2024. Let's move on. They banned it last year, 2024. So it's on the WADA list. See, remember, Usada and VADA got to hear to WADA, right? So all that time, that shot, he could have got, but the commission and Usada was saying no, that Manny couldn't get that. Hey, man, and at the end of the day, these are not the words coming out of my mouth. The commission didn't even notify Manny Pacquiao or Usada of the IV, okay? And these are facts. This is not just coming out of my mouth. I do my research. So before this Usada and this VADA conflict start to rise, because it's going to be a fighter on one side that want to use it, and there's another fighter on the other side that don't want to use Usada and want to use VADA. But I feel like, hey, there's a conflict here with Usada, because look at it right now. No one's speaking about Tank Davis in the WBA. And how did it do WBA? Not the WBC, because they know they're with the clean boxing program. But the WBA, you know what I'm saying? The WBA. How they do things. How do they do things? So, there's a lot of conflict, man. There's a lot of conflict. A lot of conflict, bro. There's a lot of conflict, man. And is this the new situation? Because, like I said, the more they keep talking about Victor, they just attaching that to VADA and Margaret Goodman. It's not looking good, bro. Not looking good at all. So yeah, it's not looking good at all. So if this Victor Conte is going to tarnish VADA and sink them, because everybody keeps talking about Victor Conte is guilty, he's no good, and he's affiliated with VADA. That's not what I think, right? It's not what I think. But this affiliation is causing disturbance, right? Even though we got a lot of people in Canelo camp that got popped, and like I said in my last video, living in a backwards world, right? People could say, I did 10 or 20 push-ups and show you on the paper and pad that I did 10 or 20, 30 or 120 push-ups, pull-ups, and dips.
Let me get my other set of pull-ups in. You probably can't even do one. He said, you don't know him. I don't know him. You sound crazy. You don't even know him. Hello? This dude said, I don't know Tank. Of course I know Tank, and he knows me. He don't know you. I know something about you. Get your testosterone up. Get your testosterone up. Get your testosterone up. Let me show you something. See that? Huh? 30 times 10, brother. That's 100 pull-ups and 200 push-ups in 20 minutes. Get your testosterone up before you talking to me, son. That do 500 push-ups every day, 100 pull-ups every day, 100 dips. Do 100 crunches every single day. Okay, Kendra, what's up, family? And that's just my first session, and I could prove it to you.
People could say, I did 10 or 20 push-ups and show you on the paper and pad that I did 10 or 20, 30 or 120 push-ups, pull-ups, and dips. And if you're a worshiper or a cult to that channel, you believe them. All right? And I'm doing it right now in your face and doing this video. And you'll be up there saying, well, I think that dude did the pull-up wrong. He did a struggle up. How many push-ups he did? Oh, only 20, 10. Yeah, but I'm also doing a video. And I also got to take my breath and talk. Okay? So instead of me showing you on a piece of paper and pad, say I did 100 push-ups and 200 push-ups, I get busy. I get busy at 52, man. Okay? I don't have to speak it for you to believe it. Because at the end of the day, I achieved it. And this is what it is. You ain't seeing me from here to here talking about what I did done. Yeah. I'm a different cloth, man. Go and sneeze and blow your nose and wipe your ass in that cloth. Not over here, dog. That's why I stay underground. That's why you don't know this channel. Now let's get the fuck away from me and let's talk about this Usada and VADA. Yeah. So is this going to be the new shit? Because if that's the case, I want to know what VADA test panel. We got to do a refresher course. I think Morgan Goodman got to have to put out something. Because, you know, the channels that support VADA, Victor Conte, you know, they don't get no kind of feedback. Been there, done that. Don't feedback, no. Yo, big up to this channel. Big up to these channels right here. They don't do that, man. So I said, fuck everybody now. Right? But the ones that's barking the most, giving you negative feedback, like Manager Marty, that bitch ass. All right, let me calm down. Let me calm down. You reply to this this dude, right? And give him a lot of energy. All these channels that speak negative to you, you give them a lot of energy. So now I learn. I'm neutral, man. I leave it the way it is, man. Because these mother effers, you try to be good to them. You see what happened with Tank. Oh, we love you, Tank. We just want you to do the roast. Man, shut the F up and just be a fan. Kick that rock, and that fan would roll like a rock in any destination. They like when they talk dirty to you, right? Yeah, they like when they talk dirty to you. Yeah. You get more stimulated. So for me, I try to stay biased. I try not to stay so biased on my opinions. But I think Margaret Goodman and VADA got to show what they test for and compare to what Usada's testing for and what they test in this day and age in 2025. I ain't talking about in Mayweather and Pacquiao era. I'm not talking about the shot that they could have gave Manny Pacquiao that now is banned on WADA, but it wasn't banned then, right? And they didn't notify Manny Pacquiao that Mayweather took an IV after the fight, weeks after. I don't want to say the wrong things, but Manny Pacquiao camp did not know that, and the Vegas State Commission or whatever, Las Vegas, they didn't even notify Manny Pacquiao's camp. But once you're a fan, all that goes in one ear and right out the other. Like they said back in the days, ain't nothing but mumbo jumbo, whatever. So at the end of the day, that's what I think, because this is going to go to a point where once you start to step on the scene with Jake Paul, there's going to be some conflicts, man. And the people that's against Victor Conte and Snack will also be against VADA. I'm just telling you how I'm starting to see it, what's becoming in the future. My solution is that we could use both. The opponent could use what I want them to use, and that opponent could use what I want them to use. This is the way I see it. All right? I think both could be used, but it depends on the contract and the promoter and what suit the situation. But I see war coming. I see war coming. Right, chickies? I see war coming. It's decline. I see war coming. I see drama. I see conflict of interest. I hear this boxer saying, I don't trust this one. I'm hearing with Tank. I'm also watching the actions of Jake Paul. It's not looking good, dog. It's not looking good. So all boxers and promoters have the right to pick and choose which they like to use to test. That's basically it, man. That's basically it. I ain't no fanboy for no VADA. I ain't no fanboy definitely for no Usada. Because my opinion, I seen Usada do some things where you could get a brown paper bag under the table. The use of IVs in your house. Using more saline, vitamins and minerals to hydrate. Man, did you just... This motherfucker shit on my fake green grass. Come on, let's go. I gotta clean all that shit up. Come on, out. Y'all can hang with me when I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what? Hold on. Always got the black chicken. Let me get the golden chicken here. The golden Jake Paul. Right? You gonna lay that golden egg, goose, duck, goose baby. You gonna fly away? Go on. Go on. Woo, go on. Yeah, you just chill or what? Yeah, so that's the way I see it, man. That's the way I see it. So I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here for you to read between the lines. It's not what they say. Oh, man. It's what they not say. I mix the lies with the truth and the truth with the lies. But at the end of the day, you love lies and you hate the truth. So let me just state this. Since there's more skin in the game, VADA got to step up. And they really don't have to. They don't want to. Like I said, it's the choice of the promoter, who they want to use for their fight. Just like Jake Paul is using, Jake Paul is using Usada. If that's what they want to use, fine, man. Fine. It is what it is, man. So, like I said, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm also here to irritate your mind. I'm out.